Hey love, and welcome back. If you are new here, welcome. Today we're going to jump right into the video and talk about lock installation. We're going to talk about some tips and some advice for lock installation, okay? So when it comes to your consultation, you want to make sure when you show up to your consultation that your hair is in its natural state, and you want to make sure that it is clean. Having the hair in its natural state helps us to see your curl or wave pattern. So it helps us to know what we're working with. And your wave pattern helps us to determine the best technique for your hair, because there are different ways that you can start your locks. Unless you know exactly what you want, that's fine, but we still need to see your curl pattern. So when it comes to your curl pattern, the technique that is used to lock your hair is very important. As you know, there are so many different techniques that you can use to start the locks, whether it's interlocking, two-strand twists, braids, crochet, coils. So seeing your curl pattern helps determine if you are unsure how you want to start your hair. It helps us, kind of guide you the best way to start. Another thing I'd like to share about the consultation is that some people show up to their consultation with knowing the exact size that they want for their hair, which is fine to have an idea or a size that you want for your locks. But keep in mind that what determines the size of your locks is your density and your texture. So no matter how small you want it or how big you want it, ultimately your density and your texture will determine what is the best size, parting size for your locks, okay? Okay, so that pretty much covers the consultation. Now, your installation. When you come to your installation day, okay, you want to make sure again that your hair is in its natural state, and you want to make sure that it is clean. If you are unable to shampoo your hair and you are going to a loctician who is also a cosmetologist, make sure that you let them know in advance that you will need a shampoo. I know some people have difficulty, can't shampoo their hair or whatever it is. So if you are needing that service, make sure that you communicate. Keep in mind, most locticians are not cosmetologists, so they are unable to shampoo your hair. That is why most of the time we just ask for you to shampoo your hair in advance. Also, on installation day, we're already putting in a lot of work, so we want to take out additional extra steps with it, which is the shampooing. So if you can do that beforehand, that saves time and gets you in and out the chair quicker. Not that it will, make a big deal if you need your hair shampooed by the cosmetologist, but if you're going to someone who's not a cosmetologist, they cannot shampoo your hair. FYI. Also, for install day, if you need a trim, try to get a trim beforehand. If not, if you're going to a cosmetologist, they can trim it for you. Just make sure that you communicate that in advance. Keep in mind that your price is based on the length of your hair. So if you are trimming your hair, you might end up with a lower cost if you're taking a lot off. But some of you guys have a bunch of stringy ends that really doesn't contribute to the length of your hair. So it doesn't make a difference anyways, because those ends were dying to go, okay? Another thing to consider for your install day is, will you have multiple people working on your head? I personally like to tag team. It makes it quicker. It goes by quicker. Most of my clients love the tag teaming option because they get their install done in one day, or most likely, most of the time, couple of hours. So they're not there all day. I know when I got my install, it was 3 days, 10 hours each day. And if I had this option available to me, I would have taken it. Keep in mind, some people don't like a lot of tension in their head. Keep in mind, when you're getting 400 plus locks in your head, regardless of how many fingers you have on your head, you are going to feel some type of, tension, because your hair is being manipulated and you are getting 400 or less or more plus locks. So you're going to feel some type of tension. So make sure you communicate with your loctician beforehand. I always let my when people schedule consultations, I always let them know beforehand that I only tag team, so that if that's not an option for you, I will find someone else for you. I don't take new clients, but I tag team with other locticians to help them build their clientele. So I help them with that process. Anyone in my mentoring program, I help them build their clientele. So we tag team. So make sure you communicate, okay? Also, some people are so concerned about the install day as far as, oh my God, will my hair be very scalpy? Will it be scalpy? Okay, so it all depends. It really depends. Keep in mind when you lock your hair, if you are interlocking, it is interlocking or braiding, it is a tighter technique. So because of that, it's going to be somewhat scalpy, but over time, the lock is going to swell and it's going to fill out, so it won't be as scalpy. Now, if you're starting off with two-strand twists, you get volume from the jump. It is not as scalpy as braids or interlocking. So you get that volume from the jump. So some people prefer the two-strand twist route because of the volume. I know my low density fine hair folks love to start their locks off with two-strand twists because they get that volume from the jump and avoid some of that scalpiness. So two-strand twist is becoming very popular now in the lock world. So that's an option for people who like that volume from the jump. Keep in mind, if you start off with interlocking or braiding, you will eventually get that volume. It's just not right away. Okay, it's still going to look scalpy. But if you have high density hair, it's not going to be as scalpy as someone with low fine density hair. Okay, so keep that in mind. And honestly, after a couple of shampoos, couple of months, the braided locks and the interlocking technique, those fill out very quickly, in my opinion. Some people may disagree because they're like, it's 6 months later and it's still scalpy, but it does not last forever, guys. So don't worry about the scalpiness too much. And if you feel like it's too scalpy, you can do braid outs, twist outs, bantu knots to just wear it curly to give you some volume. So if you have fine, low density hair, regardless of how you start, you are going to have some scalpiness. However, braids like the two-strand twisting your hair, doing twist outs, braid outs, bantu knots, doing rod, curling your hair with a sponge roller, those are going to give you volume, so you're not going to feel as scalpy for long, okay? So don't fret, just do some curls for volume. Now, this client here knows she ain't got no business with all this hair, but this is what two-strand twist looks like after it has been shampooed a couple of times. It definitely does thicken up, but she has a lot of hair anyways. So keep in mind, when you get your two-strand twist, after washing it, you're going to have that volume. This is what it looks like with, after a couple of washes. So that was not a fresh install. Okay, so some questions people have after an install. Can I wash my hair right away? I always tell my clients, absolutely. But I know there are other people out there that are saying, no, wait a month, wait 3 months. Listen, when you're starting your locks off with two-strand twists, interlocks, braidlocks, crochet, you can shampoo. Now, if you have coils, you might have to wait a little bit, but you can shampoo your hair. You just have to protect your hair before shampooing it so you can avoid slippage. So the way you would protect your hair is by braiding and banding your hair before you shampoo. And then after you're done shampooing your hair, let your hair dry completely. Then you can take it out of the bundle and you won't have to worry about any slippage. However, some people's hair may vary, so follow your loctician's advice, okay? Another thing I get asked all the time, can I oil or condition my hair? The answer is always no. However, I do make exceptions for some clients. Depending on your curl pattern, your texture, it all depends. So definitely talk to your loctician to get the best advice for your hair, because everyone's hair is different. But typically we say no oils, no conditioner. And when I'm saying no conditioner, I'm talking about rinse out conditioner. You are able, well, for me, I let my clients use a leave-in conditioner where they can use on their locks from the jump when it's new until their locks are mature, and they can still use it. Now, before you leave that install appointment, make sure you book your follow-up retightening. Make sure you book your next retightening appointment. That is your next appointment. Some people leave, don't book it. Some locticians are extremely busy, so if you don't book it, you're not getting your hair tightened at the time it's supposed to be tightened. Most of the time, depending on what you're getting, depending on the size of your locks, you're looking at 4 to 6 weeks. Sometimes it can be longer retightening time. You can go longer depending if your locks are bigger. If they are bigger, you can possibly do 10 weeks up to 12 weeks, depending on the lock size that you go with. But make sure you schedule that appointment before you leave, so you're not looking like Boo Boo the Fool later when you cannot get an appointment, okay? And especially if your loctician did some itty bitty locks, make sure you book that appointment with them, because it will be hard for you to go elsewhere, because some people do not like retightening 800 plus locks. So make sure you get that appointment in the books, and make sure they're going to keep you as a client when you have itty bitty locks, okay? Now, the last thing I would add is to make sure that you follow the advice of your loctician. If you are unsure of the advice or don't feel confident in the advice that they're giving you, then you are more than welcome to direct them to my online courses. I have lots of courses, whether you are a loctician listening or you are a customer listening and you know someone who can utilize my courses. I have quite a few courses to help people with the locking process. You can learn the whole locking business from scratch. Or if you just want to focus on a specific thing, you're like, okay, well, I already know how to do locks, but I need to understand theory. I have a course for that. If you already know how to do locks, but you're like, I can, polish up my parts a little bit, I have a class for that. If you feel like, I already know how to lock, I know theory, but it would be nice to know some repairs, how to do some repairs, I have a course for that. So whatever you need, I have a course for that, okay? Or you can also, and you can join my membership. I do have a membership where I offer bi-weekly Zoom calls where we talk about business, where we talk about the skill, the technique. We talk about everything lock. So I love to help people and would love to help you in that journey if you're someone wanting to learn more, wanting a community that is supportive, and wanting that additional, that continuing education. So check me out if you get a chance. Thank you for watching. See you guys later.